On today's video, the Chiefs arrive in Arizona for Super Bowl 57. We're going to give you our early thoughts on the game versus Philly. Plus, the Pro Bowl is this weekend. We're going to talk about that as well. Stick around.
What's happening, Chiefs Kingdom? Your Kansas City Chiefs have landed in Arizona and are ready for Super Bowl 57. And I know we're all ready for it too, Mike. If you are, make sure to hit that like button right now. What do you think about it, Mike? What's your initial thoughts on the Super Bowl?
I'm ready to get it going. I don't know why the NFL has to have 2 full weeks in between. We're ready to play the game. It should have just been played this weekend. Scrap that stupid Pro Bowl. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I'm super ready to get this thing going. What are your early thoughts on the game, Steve? Who do you think's got the edge? Where does the Chiefs shine? Where does the Chiefs fall a little bit short to the Philadelphia Eagles?
Right now, I want to give the Chiefs the edge just for the simple fact that they have Patrick Mahomes. If our defense can look anything like they did in the AFC Championship game, we have a huge chance of winning this thing. The thing about it is it's just injuries. Like, what's our receivers going to look like? Are we going to get Kadarius Toney back? We already know McCole Hardman's going to be out. And then on the flip side, it's their offensive line. I know everyone played in the NFC Championship, but they have a couple of injuries and some people banged up on their offensive line, which is one of their prized possessions. So it really could come down to who's the most healthy team. But right now, I'm going to give my edge to the Chiefs. I'm going to be a homer.
Yeah, I think it comes down to just 3 key phases for Kansas City. 1, can we stop Jalen Hurts from beating us with his legs? We proved we could stop the run last week. We held Mixon and Samaje Perine to under 50 yards total. We proved we can stop the run. I don't know if Philly's got better backs than Cincinnati does. I don't think they do. Their offensive line will be better, but it's the dual threat that's the problem. I'm not scared of Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. I'm more scared of them taking off and running. They do a lot of design runs. Even Burrow was taking design runs and chunking them off on us. So, yeah, he's way more mobile than Joe Burrow. So I think the Chiefs have to stop that. I think, can the Chiefs protect Patrick Mahomes? That's the second key. Can we prevent that defensive line, which is a juggernaut of a defensive line, man? They've got like 70 sacks total this season or something like that. It's insane. Can we protect him? And then lastly, are we going to be able to run the ball ourselves? I think that's the third main thing. Can we run the ball? Can we slow down the pass rush? Can we take a little bit of heat off Mahomes? Other than that, I believe our secondary matches up to their wide receivers pretty well. If we can shut down Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Boyd as well as we did, I don't think Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown is a better all-around group. Then again, they're no slouches either. But I think our rookies are up to the task. And I think it's all going to come down to, can we protect Mahomes? Can we stop Jalen Hurts from chunking it off on the ground?
Right. So 2 things I want to talk about here. You brought up Jalen Hurts being a mobile quarterback. We do have trouble with that. As you said, even the AFC Championship game, Joe Burrow got out to a couple of good runs there. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is going to be looking to run before pass, probably most of the time, in my opinion. I feel like he's like a mini Lamar Jackson. He's not that athletic, but I feel like they always look to run the ball. They're not that great in the passing game. I mean, I don't want to say they're bad in the passing game. They're not. They have 2 good receivers, and he can throw the ball. But it's not their highlight of their offense. It's all about that running game. So how do you think the Chiefs counter that? Do you think we keep a spy on Jalen Hurts at all times, or do you think that eliminates what Spags wants to do with the defense? How do you think they go about it?
I think what Spags has to do is rely on his front 4 to get pressure. I think he's going to have to stop blitzing so much, because basically if you send the blitz, Hurts is just going to escape the pocket the opposite way. I think you're going to have to get out of that. I think we're going to have to play a lot of man-to-man coverage. And I think you may have to do a spy, maybe even 2 spies. Willie Gay's the obvious spy, but you might have another guy kind of sitting in the middle of the field waiting, somebody like a Trent McDuffie
Brian
or somebody
Cook.
like that, a Brian Cook, just somebody that's keeping a secondary eye on him. That way, if he gets away from the initial spy, you spy him the wrong way. I think it's just going to be, our defense has to be a good game plan, and we have to be very disciplined. I don't think you can break down. You just got to know your role. You got to stick to it. That's basically it.
Yeah, and another point I wanted to bring up. They have Hassan Reddick, who's one of the league leaders in sacks, and he's going to be lining up against Andrew Wylie for most of the day here. That's a huge mismatch for them, and you talked about how we had to keep Patrick Mahomes protected. I imagine we're probably going to use Jerick McKinnon back there a lot for pass protection, which hinders the run game because he obviously don't run the ball as well as Isaiah Pacheco. So how do you think they counteract all that? You know, a lot of that looks like it spells disaster for the Chiefs offense, and it would make them sputter. But I'm not so sure Andy Reid's going to let it go down like that. So what do you think they got planned?
Right. Andy knows how to game plan for this. Bieniemy knows how to game plan for this. We've ran into a lot of good defensive ends this season. I want to say Hassan Reddick's more of like an outside linebacker that'll come to the line. He's not going to put his hand in the dirt a lot. At least I don't think. I've not watched too much film on him to this point. I'll have to get into that. But yeah, I do think he's going to play more like an outside linebacker type of thing. So I do believe that we do need to run the ball more. This sounds counterproductive, but I think you run the ball more. A lot of slip screens, a lot of things like that designed. Run our Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore in the backfield, create a lot of motion, keep these guys on their toes. Patrick cannot sit back and throw the ball 47, 48 times and just allow these guys to come at him. Wylie will have his hands full. Me and you were big proponents of trying to throw some money at Hassan Reddick in the offseason. The Chiefs didn't do that. We decided to go with Dunlap. Dunlap's awesome. But Hassan Reddick was that guy for us. We said that he could be this guy, and he proved it this year in Philadelphia. He's a handful, but I do think Wylie, he's turned it on as of late. He started the season rough, but I think our entire offensive line has played better as of late, and I think Wylie will figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah, but I'm with you, man. I think the running game is super important for the Chiefs here because if you look at the Eagles in the season, they pretty much handed a lot of teams their butts, man. But there were some teams that put up a good fight against them. One of those being the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears were not good this year. But their run-heavy offense with Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, and even Justin Fields likes to run the ball a lot as well. So, I mean, they actually put up a good fight against them. It looks like they're more vulnerable to the run than they are the passing game. And obviously that spells trouble for the Chiefs because we want to pass the ball nonstop.
Right. So you mentioned teams that give them trouble. The Indianapolis Colts give them some trouble. Jonathan Taylor ran the ball more that AFC South control the clock type of game. They even beat us with running that same crap. Again, Chris Jones got called for a bogus penalty there at the end against Matt Ryan. But you see how those teams that can slow them down, that's what I'm afraid of. Andy likes to get out, chunk the ball, keep the clock, stopped a lot unless we're converting and executing a lot. He puts a lot of pressure on the offense to keep executing, to keep drives going, whereas he doesn't tend to want to just run clock. We've seen that at the end of the Bengals game in the first half. I hope Andy and them get over that, this clock control thing. That's always dogged him his entire career. That's probably why they got him out of Philly in the first place. It's always clock. That's what they always talk about. Hopefully Andy comes full circle, figures that out this time, and we get that dub and we get it going. But I think for now, initial thoughts, I would probably have to say the Chiefs are not out of this by any means. I think the Chiefs have a good chance of winning. I think it's about 52-48 right now. I'd give it a little bit to the Eagles because so far they're just more dogs in the trenches than we've proven to be.
Yeah, so obviously much more on the Super Bowl to come. The guys actually talk tonight to the media, so we'll get to that probably tomorrow. But let's go ahead and move to the Pro Bowl, man. That took place this weekend. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I saw them playing dodgeball. I saw them throwing water balloons, and I didn't watch any of it after I saw that. Like, this thing looked like a complete and total clown show.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. They're talking about how the guys looked relaxed, looked like they were having fun. But to me, it's a bunch of fluff content. Like it's stupid. I don't want to see a bunch of grown football players out there throwing water balloons at each other. Like, call me old fashioned, but I want to see somebody hit somebody.
How absolutely pathetic has the league become? Like, this is what we've done. We went from playing an actual football game with the best of the best, playing in the game, a hard-nosed game. It actually meant something back in the day, like AFC bragging rights, NFC bragging rights. Now we've gone to the fact that these guys are just throwing water balloons at each other.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic, to be honest. I always thought I had a good idea for the Pro Bowl. I always thought it would be great that if you got selected to the Pro Bowl and you didn't want to go out there and you didn't want to put your body on the line, you just didn't want to do it, you should be able to pick your alternate. So, for example, say the Chiefs don't get to the Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes gets selected and he don't want to go out there. How cool would it be that he could go to, like, say, the Chiefs practice squad, pick his alternate, and maybe pick up somebody like Shane Buechele and put him in there in his spot, and then Buechele goes in there and puts some work on film against the league's best, and then you go out there and you have a real game. You get a lot more of these practice squad players, these guys that have something to play for, to go out there and represent who picked them and represent the AFC, NFC. I think that'd be a good way to do a game. You're never going to have college teams versus pros like everybody are throwing out or things like that. But I think it's a good idea to go out and get these young, hungry guys that haven't made names for themselves in the league and go out there and put their bodies on the line and give us a good football game. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, dude, that sounds like an excellent idea to me. I think it would be some guys that have something to show, something to play for, something to prove, and it would be a really good football game as opposed to this garbage that they're doing right now. I mean, the flag football thing had to be absolutely pathetic. I saw clips of it. It just looked like a joke. It's so stupid. Honestly, if they don't go to something like you just said, which would be fun to watch, They need to just get rid of it altogether. Like, they can still name people to the Pro Bowl, kind of the way they do the all pro teams. But as far as like actually doing something, they should just scrap it altogether.
Hey, I just seen a Bengals fan today. I'm sorry we keep in with the Bengals fans, but they just won't quit. Bengals fan today said the Chiefs are horrible, they're overrated. And then when I asked to give proof, they said we had 0 players compete at the Pro Bowl this weekend.
They did not say that.
They did.
No, they did. I thought it was a joke. I thought you were making a joke.
Nope. We had 0
No,
players competing at the Pro Bowl.
Nope, they're the joke, I guess. Yeah, so they actually talked to some of the players about the Super Bowl coming up. Some of them made some picks, man. They asked Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill picked the Chiefs. What do you think about it?
Tyreek still has love for the Chiefs. I mean, I get it. He probably wanted to go down to South Beach. He wanted to change. He wanted to go somewhere where they're going to throw him the ball 15, 20 times. He wants that nice weather. He wants those pockets to be full. But I think a little bit, his football, the dog and Tyreek Hill that wants to compete and win Super Bowls knows that he doesn't get that in Miami probably, and he had that in the Chiefs. And I still think he loves the Chiefs. Tyreek said a lot, made me think that, I didn't give a crap about Tyreek Hill, but if he ever decides to come back to Kansas City, I'm going to be fine with it.
Well, of course you are. He's one of the best receivers in the league, and he's still a Chief at heart. I think it's so weird to even see him representing the Dolphins at the Pro Bowl. Even was just weird to me. But hey, it's on him because he's watching the Super Bowl on the couch like everybody else. So it is what it is. Brandon Ayuk, he also had a pretty cool prediction here. He said that he would sell everything he owns to bet it all on the Chiefs to win this thing, right?
Yeah, I know the Eagles hurt him. Like
That's what happened.
He's hurt. I don't think he really believes the Chiefs are that much better. I just think he doesn't want to give any credit to the Eagles. But yeah, these guys are hurt right now. And but I have seen a lot of people saying the Eagles going to blow the Chiefs out. I haven't seen too many people say that the Chiefs even hold a chance. Again, I don't know how we've become the underdogs and the most hated team in the NFL. It's weird. It's strange. Usually America picks underdogs and supports underdogs, but not the Chiefs. Even though we are the underdogs, we're still the most hated. It's really weird, but I welcome
the Chiefs an underdog? Did they start a betting line?
I don't know, but I mean, to hear, sports media say it, we don't have a chance. We didn't have a chance to get the Bengals, did we?
To me, I think it would be kind of silly if they were the underdog coming out of here, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, Chiefs Kingdoms, we're only 6 days outside of the Super Bowl. Time to get that second Lombardi, baby. Everybody should be pumped about it. I know I am. We're going to be covering this thing all week, so this is a place to be at. Make sure to hit that like button, get in the comments, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell to get notifications when we come out with new content. Like I said, the Chiefs are talking to the media tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more about that. Let's go Chiefs, baby.
Let's go Chiefs. See you guys. Hit that sub button.